Sash calling from Barclays. I spoke to you yesterday evening.
Yep, you did.
Is that an okay time?
Yeah, fine, perfect.
Perfect, thank you. I'll just quickly take you through security.
Okay.
I can do that. So we received a referral from the Financial Ombudsman. It's a complaint. I think it has been sort of a situation that has been ongoing for some time now. But they effectively referred the complaint you had raised with them to give us the opportunity to address.
It's a new complaint because Barclays refuses to, after the Ombudsman found in my favour last time round, Barclays refuses to negotiate, which was the recommendation that the Ombudsman came forward with. And as
when you say last time, when was that? Sorry, just so I can try and find it.
I honestly can't tell you. This has been going on for 16 years. So there'll be a file on me, which will be extensive. And so my last complaint, my effective last complaint, started January 13th this year, when I was contacted by your solicitors who want to take my house away. And I said, well, this is a load of bollocks, because Barclays doesn't want to discuss anything with me based on my previous complaints. And then the solicitors, TLT, well, we'll raise a complaint because you have got a point, and Barclays will respond to you directly. So since January, Barclays has not responded to me directly because Barclays refuses to engage with me.
Okay, so I've referred this, and I did have a look yesterday. So I sort of reviewed that referral from the Financial Ombudsman, and I sort of compared that against previous complaints taken to the Financial Ombudsman.
Yeah.
The earliest one I could find was, let's have a look. I made a note. I got the view. I think this one is let's check the reference. So it's 2023.
Well, there was ones before that. I mean, this dates back to my first set of complaints, which were back in 2010. 2012, Barclays debanked me after first saying they would support it. I was nearly killed in a work-related accident. And Barclays, the people then went, oh my God, that's terrible. Yeah, whatever you need from us is a given. And then within a month, Barclays had debanked me altogether, locked my account, and disappeared with my money, leaving me high and dry abroad.
That relates to a business account. I did see that, and the Financial Ombudsman, I think, also had a look into that as well.
But they couldn't look into that. That's why they recommended negotiations, because it affected my personal account, because Barclays closed every single account I had and then hid my information until I had a longish phone call with the Barclays team recently. Again, I can't tell you, and I can send you the link to the audio recording you sent me, where they had to admit that I had a bank account. Their biggest argument was, you don't have a bank account with Barclays. How could we have ever debanked you? And I pointed out, saying, do you really want to be that stupid? Because I can send you the statements, my check stubs, and letters from Barclays. And they went, no, you haven't got any of those. So I sent them back to Barclays, and then the lady had to apologise to me and admit that her team was basically lying. So anyway, that's beside the point. Right, what I need now is I need a settlement figure from Barclays, and I need to know exactly where we stand, because I've got other things going on in my life.
Yeah, I understand. In terms of the settlement, I know we did, and probably an up-to-date one, I can generate that for you. But we sent a redemption statement in May.
Well, I've not had it.
We can't negotiate the redemption figure. And I did have a look at the most recent view from the Financial Ombudsman. This is in 2023. It says in the view, I think you would have had a sight of it. It says, as part of this complaint, we reiterate to Mr. Wacken that the Ombudsman's final decision of March 2018 said Barclays should engage with him about repaying outstanding arrears, not that Barclays should negotiate with him about the outstanding mortgage balance. This is the last one.
Yeah. Can you understand the problem that Barclays has created by first debanking me, right? And the only way I can get Barclays maths to add up is to add interest upon interest upon interest to get to this magical figure that Barclays has come to. Barclays has invented, your employer has invented a number, right, that they're holding me to ransom over, right, through debanking me, by closing my account, by closing our contractual agreement and excusing themselves off the pitch. Barclays has created a debt, right, that they are holding me to, which basically, and I'm going to use pretty plain language here, is bullshit. Right? The other injuries Barclays has caused to me, are so extensive, they take a separate session to discuss.
I think that issue relates to a business account from 2010. I did see some information related to that.
But again, you have to.
I think what the financial ombudsman wants us to look into is what you raised with them about the mortgage. It's not,
but these things are linked. These things are linked. May I finish? May I finish?
The outstanding balance.
May I finish?
The redemption statement.
May I finish what I'm saying? May I
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Right. So Barclays was fully aware that I am a self-employed person, right? Has always been fully aware I'm a self-employed person because we had our business account with Barclays for 10 years before I moved my private account to Barclays. What do you think happens when you close a business account of a self-employed person? Just to take a guess.
Yeah, no, I understand the implications of that.
So you can understand that by closing my business account, it affects my private account, and it affects my mortgage, my contracts with Barclays.
Yeah, I can see how that.
Okay,
is a knock-on effect, for sure.
Okay, fair.
I think that issue has already been looked into, and I think the Ombudsman had an opportunity to look into that. It's not my area of expertise. I don't actually know what the outcome of that was, but I think it was concluded.
No, it wasn't concluded.
It was a satisfactory conclusion.
It wasn't concluded.
But, from a Barclays perspective, the complaint was raised and resolved.
But it wasn't resolved.
For escalation.
But it wasn't resolved.
It's certainly not something we can consider.
Well, okay, I'm terribly sorry, right? But it's going to have to be something that you're going to have to consider. Because what's happened now, the reason why I need a settlement figure, is because my house is being destroyed by my neighbour. Right? And so soon my house will effectively fall down and there will not be a house here anymore. My insurance is currently trying to deal with this. And they said, well, you need a settlement figure because we're going to have to do something. Now Barclays has to engage with me or I'll let the house fall down. I'm not really bothered either way. And you can try and pursue me for money that I do not owe you. Do please continue. I'm sorry to have interrupted you.
That's okay. So I just need a clarification when you said engage.
Engage. Okay. Well, all right. I raised the complaint on January the 13th this year, and nothing's happened. So now I've had to go back to the Ombudsman to raise a new complaint that Barclays doesn't want to talk to me, which you don't. This is the first phone call I've had in 8 months. I've written to your CEO, he ignores me. Your Facebook and social media teams blocked me on Facebook. Your social media team where I was sent to on Twitter then, now X, don't respond. Your 24/7 helpline is a farce. It's an absolute farce. And you never get to speak to the same person twice. You know, Sasha, I appreciate that's your first name. If I go back and go, oh yeah, I spoke to Sasha at Barclays, they would start laughing. Right? Barclays has sent people, physical, real people, to my house to threaten me in our ongoing complaints. Can you see that there's perhaps a level of distrust between Barclays and myself?
So, from my understanding of the situation, the current arrears on the mortgage stand just over 100,000. That is obviously separate to the balance, and I think there was some attempt in the past to set up a plan. There was some issue with the plan, and that plan, there isn't a plan. The team have said that they just require you to go through an income and expenditure in order to set up a plan. But we're not, and I guess I'm just in the middle here. But you say that Barclays aren't willing to engage. And our team are saying that you're not willing to engage because what we need is the income and expenditure to understand your financial position in order to set up the plan. But we can't get there, and so because we're having difficulty with getting hold of you and getting in touch to discuss the arrears and how to resolve that, they've instructed our solicitors, TLT, to continue with their litigation action.
Well, your solicitor. Let's try and do this in order, okay? All right. Barclays knows where I live. You can send me a letter. As to the expenditure form, we have filled in multiple expenditure forms. They haven't changed because Barclays closed my accounts and destroyed our income, right? And therefore put in jeopardy the very loan that they're now claiming I have to try and repay. It was left that I could make ad hoc payments. That's how it was left by Barclays, and that's what was discussed. Ad hoc payments could be anything from £1,000 down to £1. That's an ad hoc payment plan.
Yeah,
but Barclays,
and that was raised with the Ombudsman.
May I finish?
The situation around that.
May I finish? May I finish?
Yeah, apologies.
Thank you. That's fine.
Yeah.
So this ad hoc plan was put in place, was agreed by Barclays, and now Barclays claims it can't get hold of me. You know where I live. Barclays claims I'm uncommunicative. It's taken you 8 months, right, since I raised the complaint with your solicitors, who couldn't give me an answer. First they claimed they were instructed. Then when I questioned them, saying, well, I'll make a complaint to the Solicitors Regulatory Authority, they said they were not instructed. Right? Your position isn't clear. Barclays has not clarified in one jot what it is that Barclays is playing at. So now it's your turn.
Thank you. Yeah, I did just that what you just mentioned. I think there was an issue with the monthly disposable income. Would you
agree?
So,
would you agree? Well, okay. Can I go again? Would you agree that if a bank closes, right, a self-employed person's bank account, business account, personal account, would you agree that perhaps it would be difficult to make regular payments? It's a simple question. Absolutely. So Barclays closed my accounts, destroyed my income, made it impossible to pay anyone, including Barclays, and now Barclays thinks that I should magically pull money out of my arsehole and put it on a table in front of you. Are you people insane? I'm just asking a general question. I don't, need a specific answer. But can you see where I'm coming from as a normal person?
Yeah.
There we go.
I did briefly have a look into that, but like I say, it's not my area of expertise.
No.
Those complaints had been raised. My task here is to just address the mortgage issue.
Yeah. Which I would also like to address. Yeah. So how do we move forward?
If I can resend another redemption statement. I know we sent one in May.
Okay. And where do I sit with my insurance? Because my insurance will try and action a way to either repair my house so I can sell it and sue my neighbour, which will take time, or my house will be demolished. There will no longer be a house on this plot. Right? At which point the insurance owes me the money, and then I will have to give Barclays some of that money. You have to appreciate I am not giving Barclays every single penny they have hounded me for for 16 years and caused my wife's breakdown and sent a man to threaten me on my doorstep, sent me countless solicitors' letters claiming that their fees would be added to my final eventual bill. I'm fucking not paying that. So please send me a redemption statement and let's negotiate a way out of the mess that your employer, and as you've agreed with me, your employer has caused and maintains. I've made 3 offers to settle this bollocks. I've made 3 reasonable offers. And some other people, a chap called Abdul Hassan, who actually rang me back several times, agreed that one of my offers was eminently sensible, bearing in mind I'm the injured party in this. So we need to either revisit those offers or find another way forward. Because it cannot continue.
We can't negotiate the redemption. I can just reissue the statement, but it will be based off the current state on the mortgage.
Well, at some point, someone from Barclays will have to negotiate with me. Won't they? I know it's not you, because the previous person who called, who agreed with me that her team were ineffectual and liars, said she could offer me £150 compensation for 15 years at that point. Misery. I know you're not the person I need to speak to. Who's your manager?
No, this is not a case for the complaints department, but I can again, if you wanted to speak to our litigation department, they would be able to assist you in setting up any plans or discussing any potential. Okay. I don't think there will be, but any potential for negotiation on a redemption, but certainly not the complaints department.
Okay, right. Well, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and I appreciate you're trying to find a way forward with this. So I suggest you or whoever is in charge answers the Ombudsman's question, because just reissuing a thing that doesn't solve what I need isn't the way forward. I need a way forward that includes something that I can give to my insurance, because I don't particularly want this house to fall to pieces, but it is being destroyed, and it has been virtually destroyed by our neighbours. And I appreciate that you probably find this very hard to believe, and it's a little bit out of your normal scope and scale of things that you deal with. But the reality is this: Barclays caused the issue, which you've agreed with. Barclays hasn't really been forthcoming, which you kind of agree with. And Barclays could probably do more, which I guess you probably would agree with. So whatever it is that you're going to do, I suggest you do it. I suggest you inform the Ombudsman. I suggest you send me copies of the redemption, and then we find the next person along the food chain that will want to talk to me. What do you think?
Well, I will generate the redemption statement, and I can send our response in writing. It's a bit of a difficult one, because I'm just relaying what the team have told me, what I've gathered from the previous complaints and the position from the financial ombudsman. I appreciate
that you're the person who's drawn the short straw in this. I'm pretty sure that can't be that many customers. Well, it probably is actually with Barclays, because I'll be quite honest with you. If I were you, after this phone call's finished, I'd be looking for a new employer, because they're fucking awful. Right? For customers. They're probably great for you, but then you don't face the problems that customers face. So my advice to you is get a new job. And whoever pushed you into making this phone call, I don't know, spit in their cup of tea or something, because they're horrible people and they couldn't be bothered to do it themselves. So let's get the letters sent out that I've requested. Let's get your team to answer the Ombudsman. And let's try and move this forwards, because the alternatives are really, really quite stark and quite difficult to put forward in a meaningful way. But this is your first effort. If this is Barclays' first effort of trying to answer 16 years worth of complaints and dispute, and you still haven't really answered it because you can't give me what I want, it's not very good, is it? take that as a yes then, shall I?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, to be honest, because I in terms of negotiating the redemption figure, that's it's not an option I was given.
Well, it's not an option you were given, but the option is on the table by other people that can make that decision. Yeah, just because you're not able to give me what I want today doesn't mean you're part of the problem. You should consider yourself to be part of the solution. Yeah, like all of your predecessors. I mean, I have dealt with tens, if not hundreds, of Barclays people in the last 16 years. And I'll be quite honest with you, apart from Abdul Hassan, wherever he's hiding, no one has rung me back, and no one has given me a straight answer, and no one has treated me like a human being, or my wife. So be part of the solution, And if you get pushback from that, then that just shows you that your bosses are a bunch of cunts, to be honest, because they've pushed you into something you're not very comfortable with in doing. You've gone quiet again, so I presume you agree with that.
I've only had a look into what we discussed.
Yeah.
The full scope, I'm not entirely sure. I just understand our position.
Well, your position is...
I guess what I've gathered and
sorry.
The litigation department.
Yeah. Your position, right?
I do know it relates to the business banking issue
that
stems back to 2010.
Yep.
Some complaints have been raised about it and referred to the financial ombudsman.
Yep.
I know there's been a few mortgage complaints that we've dealt with and that have been referred to the financial ombudsman. And I think they summarised that in the last view from 2020.
Where they recommended negotiations. Because there's a loss of trust. But the ombudsman recommended negotiations as there is a loss of trust and faith, from my side. Bearing in mind, it was Barclays that closed my bank account. Your employer caused the issue that your employer doesn't want to resolve. It's not your problem. You didn't cause it. It's very unlikely that you actually, 16 years ago, it's very unlikely that you even worked for Barclays.
There's in the last view, and they summarised the previous complaints.
Yeah.
They said they did not recommend to negotiate the redemption figure.
Negotiate in general. Negotiate in general, because if it's taken you 8 months, right, and a complaint to the ombudsman to even get someone to ring me, there's something wrong, isn't there? I mean, I've worked in complaints departments before, and your first duty is, 1, get the complainant to shut up and listen. And you can't even do that because you've got nothing in your playbook to deal with my problem. I presume you're going to agree with that because you're quiet again, because you haven't got any. You're scanning through your little notes as to what on earth you're to do next. You're a bit out of your depth, I'm sorry.
So our position is that
well, your position is that you can't help.
Contact our litigation department.
Okay.
If you would like to discuss setting up a payment arrangement or any kind of plan. In terms of the redemption, we won't be negotiating the redemption figure. I can issue a redemption statement, as you requested. We did issue one in May. The team have said that. I guess just as you've explained the challenges you've had speaking to us. We've had challenges speaking to you about the arrears and a way forward.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you right there.
Income and expenditure.
Yeah. I'm going to stop you right there. Our income and expenditure form has not changed, right? The one that you've had is still accurate. As for saying you can't get hold of me, right? My phone is on 24/7. Right? I answer all phone calls unless I'm literally physically doing something I cannot get to the phone. So by the law of averages and taking all of that into consideration, pretty sure if you ring me, you'd get through to me. Pretty sure if you wrote me a letter, pretty sure I'd answer it, bearing in mind which company you represent and bearing in mind the amount of issues I've had with your company. So that's you have to accept that what you're saying is bullshit and awkward because I've called you out on it.
So once the case has been passed over to TLT, they would then deal with that, because I think what they're trying to achieve is, I guess, the litigation process.
Yeah. Well, my last letter from TLT was the 13th of January, right?
Clear.
You need to get new solicitors because these people are shit at their job as well. Plus, I need this figure to talk to my insurance because I personally believe the house is written off. It is unlikely that they, from an engineering point of view, will be able to fix it. So the sooner we find a way out of the mess your employer caused, the sooner everyone can quietly walk away from this, which is what I'm pretty sure everyone wants.
If that refers to the redemption, like I say, we won't be able to negotiate that.
Well, I know
I'll get the figure for you now, and I'll arrange for the statement.
There we go. That's fine. We're now repeating ourselves, and it's very fruitless as a conversation. So, number one, thank you very much for getting this figure to me. And then, can you make your litigation department aware that I will be writing to them via the CEO? Yeah, because I don't have any of their contact details. They're an elusive bunch. I know where your CEO is hiding out. And then perhaps they can give me a ring and we can find someone within Barclays' organisation of about 70,000 employees that can negotiate with me. Because someone will have to.
Yeah.
There we are.
Okay. Well, I'll provide the details. Like I say, if you wanted to discuss a way forward, the team is the litigation department, and I can provide you with their contact details.
Oh, okay. Let me just.
There was also in your complaint with the ombudsman, you had mentioned the health situations you and your family are in because of this.
Yep.
This was, I think that this was referred to our specialist support team.
And they sent the police round.
Required medical evidence in order to support.
No.
Specialist support team will.
Your specialist support team
take the case on.
Yeah. Your specialist support team sent the police to my house. Yeah. Have you? Yeah. Consider it. One day you're sitting at your dinner table, minding your own business. The doorbell rings and you're answering it to a policeman who've been sent by Barclays. If that isn't,
I don't know the situation around that, but sometimes.
Well, that's what it was.
We will do that in just purely for your safety.
Yeah, okay.
Depending on how a conversation goes, we will just to ensure that everybody's okay.
Yeah. By sending the police round to basically intimidate and threaten the victims of your company.
Did the police come? They wouldn't come on behalf of Barclays business.
They said that they were sent by Barclays business. That's what they said. Now, when I referred them to that, I believe what has happened to us is fraud. They listened to it very carefully, and I took some statements and stuff, and then sort of said, well, it's not really fraud, it's just a civil dispute, isn't it? You should really talk to Barclays. And I said, well, yeah, it's very difficult to talk to them because you can't ever find anyone that wants to talk to you. And then they said, oh yeah, well, it's not really a police matter, and they said they would never come back. And I went, well, fair enough. Thanks very much. After giving them a cup of tea and some biscuits.
I have the same thinking.
Yeah. So you're thinking.
Sure, I have the same thinking. Yeah, it wouldn't be a police matter for sure.
Unfortunately, Barclays made it a police matter, which is something else that needs to at some point be discussed with someone.
Would it have been a welfare check or something like that?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I was a little bit bemused by being confronted by police officers at my doorstep.
Yeah, no, apologies. I didn't.
You don't need to apologise. Never apologise for other people's wrongdoing. You can only be part of the solution. You should remember that. That's very important.
Yeah, it is.
There we are. So never apologise about the poor service I've had from Barclays in general. That's not your doing. You're doing the job that no one else fancied this morning, which is ringing me.
Yeah.
There we are. So let's get the form sent out. Let's get some paperwork through my letterbox. Please send me the contact details for this litigation team. Please get your boss to answer the ombudsman, and my message from my side to Barclays is, can we please negotiate? Bearing in mind, Barclays caused the problem when they debanked me for no particular reason and couldn't even answer why. Never been able to answer why they did it.
Understand.
There we are.
Understand. These health issues that you mentioned in the referral to the financial ombudsman.
Yep.
Would you like me to note them down on the system?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so my health issues are really simple. In 2009, I had 125 kilos fall 4 meters and hit me on the head. 125 kilos is about 15, 18 stone. So if you imagine your desk in front of you, and probably you sitting on top of your desk, falling 4 meters and hitting someone on the head, 16 feet, it's not going to do them any good, is it? So I've got, from that, a list of injuries that's longer than your arm, which also include PTSD, caused in part by Barclays, caused by Barclays not closing my bank account, so I couldn't pay our solicitors, so my claim for compensation failed. The £1 million I was told I would get for surviving an incident that is unsurvivable, I didn't get £1 million due to Barclays, which is quite annoying, really, because I've done all the hard work around here. I've got other injuries: fractured skull, brain bleed, damaged teeth, nerve damage, all down my left side. I'm a disabled person, and that's it. That's where I'm stuck. My wife, who was quite happy beforehand, has been diagnosed with anxiety and stress since my accident, caused in part by Barclays debanking me, which caused her to have a breakdown. And my daughter is diagnosed autistic with anxiety and has suffered at the hands of Barclays for the last 16 years, which has affected how she's gone through school, how she's attended university, and it affects every part of her life. That's where we're at. Your CEO sits on his arse and does fuck all, apart from answer letters I've sent him. He sends people like you to do his dirty work. Actually, your line manager probably does that because it would have come from somewhere. So that's where we're at. Physically, I'm a disabled person. My wife is a disabled person. I look after my disabled elderly mother, who's in her 90s. She's been affected by how Barclays has treated me because it's affected where she and how she lives. And I look after my daughter. And Barclays has had all of my medical records and has had all of the answers and has gone round and round in circles, evading and thinking about how not to do anything about it, which is pretty disgusting behaviour. Presume your silence probably kind of agrees with that. So
no, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like you've been through a lot, and I had a look at the record of complaints, and this issue has been, I think I first saw it in 2010 with a banking issue. So you've been through a lot, and I can see it and hear it in your voice and what you're telling me. So
yeah,
I can only sympathise.
It is an unfortunate thing to have found myself in. Barclays were quite a good bank when I first had my business account with them. We had a bank manager. We could go in, I could present my quarterly figures, my yearly figures, and people would listen to us, give advice of what they thought or what they wanted. And I would go, well, I can afford that. Yeah, let's do this. Since Barclays stopped having that service, it has been, and I'm going to use a simple word, a shower of shit, right? And you've heaped pain and misery on my family. By now, normally, I'd have broken down and started crying because I've not been able to deal with this. But I think, every day goes by that Barclays fucks me around more, I get stronger. 16 years I've been at this, and Barclays thinks they're going to push me around. Really don't think that's a good, sensible kind of thing to try and do with me anymore. So let's try and get something positive done. Let's get the letters out. Let's get them to talk to my insurance, because my insurance has also been pretty bad at trying to resolve my house falling down. And let's move it forwards, because let's put it this way, I'm not having this phone call a year from now. People tell me that, it's not in their remit to help me. Be part of the solution, because you don't want to be part of the problem.
I agree.
There we go. Right, so we're going to conclude it now, because I think we've taken up enough of each other's time. You probably need to go and have a little bit of fresh air and a breather from all of this. But do, and I seriously implore you, get a new job. Because, yes, you need money at the end of every month. You can get a better job than working for a bunch of cunts.
Yeah.
But not until you've helped me fix my problem. If you could do that, that would be great.
Understand.
All right.
Just for these markers, there's just a few things I have to go through in order to note them down on the system. Just the things you have mentioned about PTSD, that you say we've caused, the fractured skull, nerve damage, and other things. If that's okay, so I'll go through it. So there's a marker here. It says I have a physical disability, illness, and/or accessibility need.
Yeah.
So you mentioned what that is. It's the option I've selected is to have a severe or long-term illness or health condition.
Yeah.
It's not terminal.
It is terminal. I'm going to die at some point.
I guess the PTSD would constitute mental health.
Yeah. It's been really good recently.
Okay.
I've not told people exactly what I think.
Yeah. And how does that affect your mood? I guess when you're speaking to Barclays, I completely understand.
How does it affect my mood? Right, so I had a little meeting because I thought, this is ridiculous. I'll go and meet someone at Barclays, and I made an appointment in Woking to see some poor chap called Richard. And he took down all the details, and he was the one that said, you don't actually have a bank account, pretty much. And I said to him, well, I think you find that I do. And then he said something else. I said, it's really odd, right? Either you're totally stupid or really brave, because you're sitting about 6 feet away from me. And he said, what does that mean? And I went, doesn't mean anything. But if I were in your position, I wouldn't be sitting here. And he went absolutely white and started shaking. And I've never seen that on anyone before.
Yeah.
So I can see why nobody at Barclays wants to talk to me. Unfortunately, you still have to.
Not that at all.
Well, I would probably dispute that. But all we're trying to do, both sides, Barclays, your employer, you on their behalf, and we're trying to find a little bit of common ground, and I'm doing everything I can, right? Because I didn't cause this situation. I didn't debank myself, did I? Didn't go, oh yeah, today I'm going to fuck my life up completely and switch off all my access to money. Your employer did that for whatever reason. And the Ombudsman has kindly taken this on because it's been since January that TLT said someone from Barclays would be dealing with this, and you haven't dealt with it. That's the complaint. You haven't dealt with my most recent inquiry. Let's forget all the stuff that's happened before, because today's a new day. Yeah? 16 years, that's just the starter. We're now at the main course. And that's what I need resolving.
Yeah.
There we are. So can I please have the letters that you've offered me? Can you please put this forward as a call for someone to contact me? Can you put it in your diary to follow up on this in about 4 weeks' time, so you can get a name from the I don't want to call them bullshitters, but the people that don't ring anyone back, the legal team. Yeah, put a note in your diary 4 weeks from now, who's dealing with this? And if no one's dealing with this, perhaps you want to give me a ring back. Because then we know, don't we? You'll know that your team is filled with liars, cheats and thieves. And then that will probably determine you to find a new job with a better bank or somewhere else, anything.
Yeah.
There we are.
Okay. I'll refer this to the team just before I draft my letter. I just want to find a way forward. So I can give you that information in the letter. I think from what they said, it's with TLT, but you can speak to them if you want to set up a plan.
TLT don't want to talk to me. TLT have referred me to Barclays because they don't think they can answer my questions. Keep kicking it around as much as you want, but it still comes back to Barclays.
Yeah.
All right.
I understand. There's some adjustments here we can make from what we've just been talking. I'll be quick. It's almost done.
Yeah.
So there's a few options. It says please do pay, and these are markers that when you speak to us, the advisors can see, and so they will consider. It says please be patient when I speak to you over the phone and in branch. No specific support is required. Be aware of customer circumstances. I need you to speak clearly, loudly, and slowly. Be mindful when speaking with the customer and completing security. I can't visit the branch or attend appointments. I don't know if that is the case. Did you say you attended the branch?
I've said, and in my letter to your CEO, I said I've been into your headquarters at Canary Wharf because I've worked for a company that works for Barclays. Okay? So I am more than willing to go to any Barclays branch in the UK or Scotland. I'm willing to come to your Canary Wharf offices. I know exactly where they are. I'm more than willing to present myself in front of your solicitors and represent myself to try and find a way out of the mess that your company has started when they debanked me. That's what I'm willing to do. Whatever it takes, But Barclays needs to move themselves towards me a little bit. Because, let's put it this way, have you ever been mugged in the street? Probably not. Right? There's a person that will step out of the shadows, stick a knife in your face, threaten you, and then try and take your wallet. And I've dealt with that in the past, where I've basically just smashed someone's head in. It's really simple, because they geared themselves up to rob you. Now you have to respond in kind, because you don't know where that's going to end. Barclays has put themselves in a direct firing line with me, with their actions. And I've been really good for 16 years. And I've listened to all the bullshit, and I've tried to answer all the questions that are basically lies or self-confirming lies. Barclays now needs to move towards me to find the way forward. So put down the threats. Put down all this, bravado of peacocking in front of me, showing me how big a tougher organisation you are. Because you're not. And I'm not talking to you now, because I'm sure somebody will be listening to this later on. Oh yeah, and there's a blog as well. I've been blogging about my ongoing saga with Barclays, and I got about 15,000 hits a month on that. And when you Google my name, I come up, and then Barclays comes up. I'll give it another 3 months. Next time you Google Barclays, my name will come up. And I'll continue with that.
Was there any adjustments you would like me to add?
Not really. I mean, listen, Barclays thinks they have the upper hand, right? the company thinks they're big, tough. Might is right. Whatever they do is right. They debanked me. They were perfectly justified in that action. There's a price for that. Simple price for that. So as long as we're all reasonable to each other, find a way out of the mess your employer caused, we'll all be fine. Won't we? I presume that's a yes. There we are. Right. So there's no more adjustments. All I would like is to be treated fairly, with equity, and a certain degree of perhaps looking at it from my position. You're unlikely in your career ever to meet a client like me again. Well, I would hope you are unlikely ever to meet a person like me again. But Barclays has to understand what they're doing to us as people. They're doing it to us. I'm not a number. I'm not a thing that sits on a balance sheet. We are normal, living beings who have been put through hell by your employer for what? I've paid my mortgage off, I reckon, if they followed the plan that I put forward. And if we can move to that and move away from this hostility towards us, which they started. This very much feels like the Russian-Ukraine war. Barclays is the aggressor, is Russia is trying to flatten me, and I am doing what I like to give them a bloody nose. And I will continue doing that because that's the kind of person I am. And you can't actually win this, because in the PR war I will find tens, hundreds, probably thousands of people who are in an equal position of being messed around. And I'll give them all a voice on my blog. They'll love it, because I've got the knowledge of how to put it on the web. It may not be pretty and it may not be well written, but it'll certainly get under your PR's nose, and it'll get to your CEO at some point. And then someone will have to answer me. There we are. Anyway, it's been lovely talking to you. You've been very good because you have listened. And as I said, let's try and find a way forward.
Okay, perfect. Just the last question. Would you like me to refer to any sort of external organisations or third-party organisations, charities, to support with long-term illness or mental health?
Well,
you had mentioned.
No. So I mean, I have my case is kind of managed by Headway. They're the people who deal with head injuries. I've been under Step Change. I think they've changed their name now. They just said, well, Barclays has to talk to you. They can't keep going the way you are. The stress you're under is caused by them. So they turn around and say, we can't help you. We can't help you because your bankers are putting you in this position. And I went, but that's what I've been saying all along. So there isn't anyone to help. The only people that can help, they're on your side of the fence. And if they choose, well, what they choose is their business. What I do is my business.
Understand.
There we are. Right. Again, thank you for your time.
A quick short statement. Just a quick short statement I just have to read, just for what we discussed about these markers. Just like I said, to make other people aware when you speak to us over the phone. Thank you for sharing. And with your permission, I can add your support markers and adjustment needs onto your account. This allows us to support your banking needs and tailor our products and services appropriately. You can change or remove this at any time by letting us know.
Yeah. But you can appreciate.
For me to add?
Can you appreciate? My closing remark is: you're telling me about products and services. I don't have any products and services from your stupid bank. You took them all away. Effectively, Barclays quit the contract under which the mortgage was formed and founded. I could just turn around and tell you lot to go and stuff it. And then you'll try and take me to court, and then we go into a different realm of complexity. Yeah. It is far simpler to get people from your side of the fence to bring a little white flag, because they'll need to declare themselves who they are, to me, and let's talk about this. Let's find a way out of this mess, because soon, if we don't fix my house, as I said, it will fall down. And at that point, you've got nothing. You've got a plot of land that you'll never be able to build another house on. The plot of land itself would be worthless, and all you've done is piss me off to the point where I won't really be too bothered about what happens next. So let's just try and be nice to each other. It would be the way forward, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Okay,
agree.
right, fine. So please action the things that you're capable of doing. And I look forward to getting some letters in the post, which I will respond to you in due course.
Okay. Are you happy for me to add the markers that we
Yeah,
discussed?
yeah. Please add whatever you want. Add whatever you want. You have carte blanche, because, well, actually, you may as well. I'd like, under a Freedom of Information Act, I would like to see what these markers and things that you're creating are, and I'd like a copy of this recording.
Okay.
There we go.
I can request that for you.
Lovely, thank you very much. Right, on that note, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, perfect. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks
Thank
very
you for
much,
your time
and
as
you. Bye, bye-bye.